Hi, this is Merrill and Kristi Jenks, and we wanted to share something with you all that we just went through because it has really been life-changing for us, and we want to kind of tell everybody about it and tell you what the top 3 things are that each of us learned. We just finished something that's called a 75 Hard. Now, if you haven't heard of a 75 Hard, it was created by Andy Frisella, who has a podcast called the MFCEO podcast. We'll post a link to it.
Great podcast.
Really great podcast. Language warning on it though, but it's really, really good and amazing content. And basically, here's the rules of the 75 Hard. You have to go 75 days straight. No alcohol, a gallon of water every single day, 10 pages in a business book every day, a progress photo every single day, and then 2 45-minute workouts every day, one of which has to be outside. And we got to give a shout out to our friend Curtis Johnson and Lance Gabbard and Tammy Pack and so many amazing people who we know who invited us to be part of this challenge.
Well, it was kind of like on a whim. I mean, you told me, I think on like Friday, hey, do you want to do 75 Hard? And I was like, huh? And then the next thing we knew, on Monday was day 1 of 75 Hard.
Monday it was starting. And honestly, they had asked me before that, and I was like, you know what, there's no way I can do it. I mean, I've got 7 kids. I don't have time. I can do all the other stuff, but I don't have time to do 2 45-minute workouts a day. But if you've been following my story, I've been on this big health journey all year, and at the end of the day, I decided I have to make time. Like, nothing could possibly be more important than my health. So I decided to make the time. And so that is the first thing that I learned. And it is, you do have enough time to do something like this if it's something that you want to do. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out there and do a 75 Hard, but don't let, I don't have enough time be your excuse. What I did is, I said, you know what, I've got to make it a higher priority. It has to be the top thing in my life. Now, it did require some sacrifice. We woke up at 4:30 every single day for the entire 75 Hard. I think once while we were in Mexico for our business planning retreat, we allowed ourselves to sleep until 5. And that was like a real treat. Other than that, we woke up at 4:30 every single day because we wanted our bodies to be conditioned to get up at the same time every single day so that we could fit in both of our workouts. But you know what I found? My business production didn't go down. I didn't sell less homes. If anything, I did more. I was more productive. I had so much more energy. So you have time. That was the first thing I learned. Don't let, I don't have enough time for something like that be your excuse.
Right from the beginning, we knew that with one of the requirements of having to have an outside workout, we knew that we had to plan. Like we were already consistently working out. You're at the gym. I ride my Peloton with my 5:30 a.m. Peloton squad, but we knew we needed to plan. So the first thing that I learned was routines. Your routines are absolutely critical when taking on a new challenge like the 75 Hard. So we quickly put into a routine of waking up at 4:30 in the morning and then immediately going for our walk. So we could knock out that first 45-minute outdoor exercise every single day consistently. And that really kept us in momentum so that we were not, at the end of the day, struggling to figure out where that next routine or where that next exercise was going to come in. We planned ahead all of our exercises and built habits around them. So every night before we went to bed, we'd get out our shoes, we'd get out our workout clothes. So, when the alarm goes off in the morning like that and you don't feel like waking up, you immediately know, okay, I've got to put my clothes on, take my progress pic, do my weigh-in, and I'm out the door. Having these little micro habits really set up the routines that we needed for success.
The next thing that I learned was that I actually love healthy food. Like, I've always sort of told myself this story of, like this mental limiting belief that, I just don't like vegetables, you know what I mean? And I just want to eat unhealthy foods and carb-loaded, sugar-loaded, stuff. But as I have forced myself to eat healthy throughout this challenge, I'm actually finding...
I think you forgot that. So one of the requirements is, and I know we'll post a picture of all the requirements.
Yeah.
One of the requirements is stick to a diet and absolutely no cheating.
No cheat days. Yeah, exactly. I did forget that piece of it. So you got to go 75 days, no cheat days. And by the way, if you miss one workout, you cheat on one meal, you miss your gallon of water one time,
start over.
You have to start the whole 75 days over. And so, as we were eating healthy and eating a lot more vegetables and finding new recipes to cook, like, I've really learned that I love healthy food and I really love vegetables. And, I really, like, there's some really amazing things that you can make. And I feel like I've discovered discovered this whole new world of possibilities, and I'm realizing that I like a lot of these foods just as much, if not more, than all the carb-loaded, sugar-loaded stuff. And kind of, paired with that is that sugar is the devil. I'm sure you all already know that, but sugar is the devil.
I like
and,
sugar.
I like it too, but the way it increases cravings, and, I just read an incredible book. Having to read 10 pages in a business book every day is part of the challenge. Probably my favorite book that I read throughout the 75 Hard was The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. And the way that book taught me about insulin and insulin resistance and what an impact that has on us, I was like, I'm swearing off sugar and sugar substitutes, and man, it just makes such a huge impact. You don't really have cravings. And then even when you go eat something that's like more naturally sweet, like a fruit or something like that, I'm not eating fruit right now, but honey or something like that, it tastes 10 times sweeter than it used to because your body has adjusted to not getting all of that sugar anymore.
So the second thing that I learned from doing this experience with Merrill and so many of our good friends was that movement creates momentum. And I know Tony Robbins has a mantra around that, like, movement, change your state, change your energy, right? And what I found was, so in full transparency, when Merrill asked me to do the 75 Hard with him, I was really just doing it to be supportive, right? Like I was like, that sounds horrible. But I wanted to be supportive of my husband in his health transformation, and let's face it, like I knew that that would do me well. So I started it, and within the first month, I felt so much momentum that I gave up Diet Coke, right? Like it was, so it started almost like a domino effect. Just having these new routines and these habits of drinking a gallon of water a day, all of a sudden I was doing things that I never thought that I could do. So now we are officially signed up for like 3 5Ks, which we've never done a 5K before. We're doing 5Ks. I've gave up Diet Coke. I wrote down some lists. Became vegan. So completely changed my diet to now I'm eating vegan. Gave up caffeine. I was drinking a lot of Bangs and a lot of Diet Coke, which obviously we know is not good for me. And although that wasn't a requirement of the 75 Hard, because I was making so many improvements in other areas, I naturally wanted to improve. I ended up reading 10 books and losing 20 pounds, and I also started incorporating intermittent fasting into my diet. So it's funny how the 75 Hard, it gave me the momentum to propel me to do better in a lot of different areas of my life.
The third biggest thing that I learned is that our health and weight loss is not about our physical activities. It's about our mindset. I mean, yes, our physical activities are important. And if you listen to the podcast from Andy Frisella about this, he says this 75 Hard Challenge is not about weight loss. It's not about some health journey. It's about strengthening your mind.
Yes.
It's about proving to yourself that you can do it. I actually really love one of the things he says in the podcast is, if you start this thing and you don't finish, it'll actually be you'll be worse off than if you had never started, because you're essentially breaking a promise to yourself. And so I have been learning so much lately about changing my mind and my mindset of what I'm capable of. Kind of like, hey, I love vegetables now, and hey, I can do 5Ks now. I mean, I know 5K is not, super far, but we're going to go up from there, and just learning what we're capable of, learning what we can do, strengthening our mind, keeping promises to ourselves. As we continue to keep those promises to ourselves, it makes us more and more confident, more and more productive in every single area of our life. Like, I mean, I literally feel like we're better parents now, we're better business people now. I had great results on it. I lost 46 pounds during the 75 Hard, and obviously I had already lost a ton of weight before I started the 75 Hard, so it's all really exciting results, but the results is not why you do it. Strengthening your mind is why you do it.
One of the things that Andy says in the podcast says mental toughness is a skill, not a character trait. And so for my third thing that I learned was that I had a lot of fixed mindsets and limiting beliefs that I didn't even know existed. So the first one that came out really early on, when Merrill asked me, I wasn't nervous about the double workouts because I was already working out. I wasn't nervous about sticking to a diet. I've done that before. I was most nervous about drinking a gallon of water a day. Do you remember I told you I was like, I can't drink a gallon of water? That was my first limiting
Especially
belief.
on your coaching days, you were worried about having to use the restroom too often.
That's true. But that was my first limiting belief, that I couldn't drink a gallon of water. And as I came into certain routines, like I could track throughout the day. I know exactly where I need to be in terms of my gallon of water by 10 o'clock, by noon, by 2, by 4 for me to be on pace. And now I'm drinking over a gallon of water a day like it's nothing. So it was one of the first things that I really learned. Some of the other limiting beliefs that I didn't realize that I had. So we went on vacation during the 75 hard. We went to Mexico and we took our family on a fall break vacation. And previously, prior to the 75 hard, I would have thought that there's no way I can eat healthy on a vacation, right? Like, come on, right? Like, you can, but I had internalized like vacation with just eating bad and doing whatever I wanted. And along the same lines of that is we've also had holidays and like family get-togethers and things. Like, let's talk about socially just eating in general, right? Like there's all these things that we do, the first jazz game of the season, right? Like normally we would have these excuses to just kind of eat whatever we wanted. And I had unknowingly created a limiting belief that, I can't stick to my eating plan or my exercise routine around a holiday, around a vacation, around a family event, when that's just simply not true. The last limiting belief that really I was able to overcome through this challenge was that I couldn't wake up every day at the same time and feel rested. And I blew that one out of the water. There were times where I went to concerts at night, so I went to bed at 12 o'clock at night, and I still woke up at 4:30 the next day and got my exercise in, and it was all around mindset. Like I knew I wake up at 4:30 no matter what, and I feel rested. So those were, some of my big takeaways on mindset. I would absolutely say that more than anything, the physical benefits are fantastic from doing a 75 hard. The mental toughness that you build and the confidence in yourself that you gain from having achieved something so hard is really one of the reasons I recommend that you do a 75 hard.
We definitely recommend it, so check it out. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more of our content,
make sure to subscribe to our channel and check us out on our social media.